Yo, what's going on, guys? It is your boy Pup. We're here with week 2 of the UPA doubles OU in Pokemon Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon. We are taking on Mental Mark. Right now I am at 1-0. We are sitting pretty good. I really like my team, but I didn't bring the Trick Room aspect this week because I know that Mental Mark has it on their side. But they didn't even bring the Torkoals. They didn't bring the Sun and like real big Trick Room that I was expecting. So a little bit of an interesting matchup. Obviously, their Whimsicott is annoying because it's Prankster. Naganadel is very fast and hard for me to break through. But we do have Greninja that's always faster. I have a safety goggles on my Greninja just to make sure I couldn't get Rage Spored by an Amoonguss. So we would be able to always be able to outspeed and knock out Naganadel in one shot. That's not really going to help us as much here. Unless like they want to click Stun Spore Prankster with the Whimsicott against us. But sorry for all the lag, that's just how it is. We're also doing post-com because of all the lag and it being really annoying. But we see a pretty good lead here for us. Obviously, we can CC into the Bisharp if we wanted to. They have the Magmortar up on screen as well, which Quagsire is very good against. But it's a little bit interesting on what I want to do because they're probably going to switch out that Bisharp. I feel like it makes a ton of sense. We can also just, get the Toxic up if we want. We can get a Stockpile up with our Quagsire, which makes us basically unkillable at this point. But they are just going to double withdraw. We see the Camerupt and the Whimsicott come out here. We're just going to send off that CC into Camerupt, almost knocking it out in one hit. Really wish I had Scalded into the Camerupt slot now, because that would have been great. But we're still pretty fine because our Hariyama has Bullet Punch, being able to hit that Whimsicott. We also have Poison Jab, which is 4 times super effective, so we can always threaten it with an Oko. But we can Bullet Punch the Camerupt because we have everything slow on our side. So we Bullet Punch it, make sure we can knock that Pokemon out. And then Whimsicott probably just throws off a Grass move into our Shiftry, so we can go hard out to that. But they're going to show Protect, which is a little bit annoying for us. Could have Poison Jabbed into Whimsicott and just straight up knocked it out. But we do predict the Giga Drain correctly. So I'm pretty happy with that. And we have a Terra normal, or not Terra. We have a normal gem boosted explosion on this Shiftry that I was really excited to click. In the sun, we are double speed. So none of that really matters. But I have to figure out what I really want damage on if I am going to do that, because it's going to do damage to my own guy if I want to click it here. But getting a knockout on the Whimsicott would be really nice, and if they're not max Fizz Def, it should knock them out every single time. So right now I'm definitely calcing it, seeing what I want to take damage, which is probably going to be Quagsire on my team, or this Pokemon is fine. I think probably the best option would have just been to Bullet Punch on the Whimsicott. Make sure I always would have knocked it out even if they are max Fizz Def while I click Explosion here. Maybe taking out my own Hariyama, but we would basically be trading 2 for 2 in Pokemon that I expected to trade. But they're going to switch out, so saving that Camerupt, get up the Sunny Day, which is what I expected. But this is totally fine because we're going to get this big explosion off on their team. It's going to do a lot of damage with that normal gem boost. And we are going to just straight up knock out the Magmortar, do half to our own Quagsire, but not quite knock out the Whimsicott, which is really tough for me. Obviously, if I bring out Hariyama again, I have the knockout option with the Bullet Punch, but a Fake Out is also super obvious, so they might want to save that Pokemon. And they might bring in, something like Naganadel that can really threaten my team. So we'll see. You're going to go out to Buck Bumble, which is that Naganadel. Love the shiny, looking like a nice wasp up there. But Quagsire, we're out here. I don't know if we can really do anything. We probably just get Giga Drained. But it could be nice to, get a Stockpile up. Or potentially get a Toxic off if they're switching out that Whimsicott like I do expect. Another switch opportunity for me is Gothitelle at this point because we trapped the Naganadel in. We should be able to one-shot it while being able to eat anything that it wants to go for. We also have Rain Dance to get rid of their Sun if we really feel like doing that. But here we have, a lot of options with Hariyama. I feel like the best option for me, there's no Covert Cloak in this game, so we're just going to Fake Out into that Naganadel slot so they can't click like Sludge Wave and do a ton of damage to my whole team. We get the prediction right with the Giga Drain onto that Quagsire spot. And we're just going to get some lefties recovery since they are flinched. But now both of their Pokemon are trapped in here. We can Psychic into Naganadel and just Bullet Punch into this Whimsicott. And we are looking like we are in a great spot at this point. But Jitterbug does go for Encore, which is annoying. I think it makes a lot of sense for me to even go for that fake out that first turn though, because it basically means that this Naganadel, which is a very, very scary Pokemon that can get out of control easily with Beast Boost, is no longer a threat at all. It also was a threat that they could have potentially tailwinded and outsped my Scarf Greninja. But now they're going to go into Whimsicott, or go into the Mimikyu, and this is what scares me with the Trick Room here. This Pokemon kind of goes through our team, but would you really want a Trick Room in front of a Gothitelle and a Hariyama that are very slow? Who knows? We do have Poison Jab that can hit it. Psychic also, you know, break that disguise. But we're going to swap out Hariyama here because I feel like they're just going to click an attack. And the Giga Drain into Gothitelle yet again, which is fine by me. And Play Rough into that Quagsire so we get a good read on them. We're going to break their disguise with Psychic. And we're looking like we're in a really great spot here. Basically, you know, they can choose to potentially take a knockout on Gothitelle or Quagsire. I don't think they're going to be able to knock out both. I think they need a double hit to be able to knock me out. So we're going to protect here with Quagsire, expecting a hit off. But they're just going to click Shadow Sneak plus Giga Drain. And that's really tough. We do end up living on 2. But we Psychic into the Whimsicott. Not really expecting it to Giga Drain into the Gothitelle spot. So we get that play wrong. Whimsicott would have been down by now, but that's okay. At this point, they can freely Shadow Sneak and take out Gothitelle and then Giga Drain into Quagsire. So I'm going to make a really aggressive play here, and we are going to go hard out into Greninja here. If they want to click Shadow Sneak, then we're in a great spot where we can just click like a Dark Pulse into them and knock them out next turn. So they Giga Drain into our Rindoberry Quagsire. Doesn't matter, we were super dead anyways. That Pokemon lives barely. But they go for the Trick Room here. So perfect play by them. If I just hit them with Gothitelle, I think I would have been in a fine position here, because I would have been able to potentially bring out this Finny and attack them the next turn as well. But now we have Greninja in here, and Greninja's very good in this game. I need it, but the tides turned all of a sudden. We were in a great spot, and I'm basically going to have to sack off my Gothitelle now and try to get as much damage as possible on this Mimikyu. But it's very, very tough for me to get damage. We're going to try to potentially take out Whimsicott as well with the spread damage, but they set up a Sunny Day, which makes my Surf weaker. Amazing play by Mental Mark here. I mean, it makes a lot of sense that they could have done it, but I also just expected like a Giga Drain or some sort of maybe some sort of switch to take advantage of the Trick Room. But we are not even close to taking out Whimsicott now. We have to bring out Hariyama, but it's at this point it's really a choice of, do we want to take out the Whimsicott or whatever they might want to switch in? Do we want to go into the Mimikyu, try to take that Pokemon out because it's sweeping my entire team? Who knows? It's just a tough situation for me here. If they click Giga Drain into Tapu Fini, it's really annoying, and it takes out Greninja as well. So I have the Bullet Punch here that we can click. We have Moonblast, we have Surf. I mean, we basically just have to click Moonblast. But we're going to Bullet Punch into this Mimikyu, see how much it does. It's pretty good damage if we were able to survive a hit, but we just get fully O-code. I feel like that might have been a roll, but who knows. And then here we're just barely going to miss out on the knockout versus that Mimikyu, which is so tough for me. Because at this point, even if we just get rid of the Mimikyu there, I'm in a pretty good spot. Sorry, I said something earlier about Scarf Grunt. It's not. Or Mat Block those, so we can block any damage if we go first, which you'll see me use in some later weeks. But basically the game is probably over here because they can knock out Greninja in one shot if they hit the Play Rough, and they do. But if they miss, then we potentially had a shot to be able to knock them out, or potentially get some Calm Mind boosts up and be in a pretty decent spot. You know, we would knock out the Mimikyu there with the miss. The Trick Room is wearing off pretty soon, if not just now. I don't really know. But their Pokemon in the back don't handle our Tapu Fini too well. We always have Protect to stall out the terrain, to stall out the, you know, get us some leftovers, stall out their Trick Room if they want to do that. But they're just going to smartly switch out to Camerupt, preserve a little bit as we Protect. I mean, we could have easily just surfed but I forgot that they were Encore on their Pokemon. So at this point, it's super duper over, even though the twisted dimensions return to normal now. I mean, they have 4 Pokemon, 3 of them incredibly weakened, but we were just sitting here like a sitting duck because we are Encored into Protect forever and ever. That's going to be the game. I'm really upset with how I threw this one. If I just choose to attack instead of going hard Greninja on the turn where they set up Trick Room, I would have been completely fine just being able to click Bullet Punch and knocking out Mimikyu. I'm not threatened by Camera Up anymore because it's also in range of Bullet Punch or Fake Out. And then Whimsicott, obviously not that big of a threat with only clicking Giga Drain. So Hariyama probably would have been able to just run through their team at that point, even if they end up getting the Trick Room up. All we need to do is just get a little bit of damage on that Pokemon. But, you know, we live and we learn. If you guys did enjoy this battle, please be sure to leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.